Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
On my shirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Touch on this brief. On my shirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent...
First all the time, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, everybody else that have jumped on early, the early birds, to get in on the conversation. But I just want to touch on something real quick, and I honestly want to let it play itself out before I make too much of a judgment, but it's definitely something I have to talk about. The only criticism that I have had of President Donald Trump since I went to the rally in Tucson over a year ago is that I don't know why Trump seems to hire people that turn on him. I don't understand what's happening. I mean, he's hiring people that he then have to fire, who are then getting indicted, although it has nothing to do with him. And then you got people who are turning on him. Now, whether you agree with Omarosa or not, whether you agree with Steve Bannon or not, it is clear that these individuals are turning, and this is a sign language for dead, but I'm not talking about dead, but people are turning on Donald Trump. And all the way up until now, it has been a bunch of BS. Now, the White House has already come out and said that what Steve Bannon said wasn't true. I guess we'll find out. But it just seems to me like I don't understand why people turning on Trump. You know, I don't know if it's for fame. I have no idea, because none of this stuff has been sustainable up until this point. And I still think the White House is denying that any of this in the new book that Steve Bannon wrote is even true. And I don't know if you guys have heard about it or not, but it's a huge story. You know, the name just escaped me. I love her, Sanders. She was talking about it today in the press conference. And she was embarrassing everybody because, of course, they want to jump on a bandwagon of saying, oh, Donald Trump is in trouble now. You got people turning on him and all this other stuff. And she was just demolishing people left and right, just slaying them left and right because they can't ask adequate questions that are reasonable. They have to ask stuff that makes no sense to try to make Trump look bad, and it just makes them look like fools. They dominated the whole press conference by talking about this thing with Steve Bannon. But I'm just curious. I mean, are you guys on the same page as me? I'm just wondering how are people just turning on the man? Omarosa was a big one. She's supposed to be all for it. And I'm gonna say this is one thing about Steve Bannon that's shocking to me, is that in the book, from what I've read and what the White House have said, is that in the book he's really referencing Don Jr.'s meeting with the Russians during the campaign as treasonous, as if there's some type of a collusion between the campaign, Trump's family members, and the Russians. But yet on national TV, he denied it to the point where it looked like he was so mad that they even asked him the question that it's a farce. This is not a true statement that the Russian collusion thing was legitimate. He was adamant that it's totally BS. And then in the book, it seems to be something different. I'm just wondering, I don't know if people are around Trump and is looking for a paycheck after this or some type of publicity, or they're telling the secrets. I don't know. Omarosa swear before God that she got information that's going to be mind blowing. And then now you got somebody like Steve Bannon that's not necessarily dogging Trump as much, but saying that his family members are going to probably go to prison over some stuff that have occurred. Treasonous. That's an embarrassment to the country. Oh my God. I'm just confused at what's actually going on, because I'm not a bandwagon type person. I don't follow people off a cliff. If they wrong, they're wrong. If they're doing the right thing, they're doing the right thing. But it seems to me that people have been in full support of Donald Trump, and then all of a sudden they turn. Whether it's right or not, I mean, even if they're right, even if Steve Bannon is correct, even if Omarosa is correct, why do you go through the process of being supportive, being on a part of the team, and lying? If what you're saying is true, then you've been lying this whole time, and then you turn around and tell the truth. Or you've been telling the truth the whole time, then you turn around and lie. I don't know if it's Trump. I mean, I got to blame it on Trump. You got to stop hiring people that don't have your back, that's not down for you. Because if people are down for you, people are loyal to you. I'm not saying being loyal to you committing crimes, but what I'm saying is that being loyal to the point where if you got an issue, you address the issue with the person. You don't go write a book about it, or you don't go put it out on national media unless you've addressed it with the person already. You can get the same thing accomplished unless you want to make a whole bunch of money. You get the same thing accomplished addressing the issues that people have with the person directly. I have seen this so often that people turn gossip into money, when the same thing happened with Joy Villa. Like I don't understand why she couldn't take care of this business between her and Corey Lewandowski. Why do you have to go to the media? Why do you have to make it such a political thing, a public thing, when you can address that? When clearly it doesn't appear that somebody slapping somebody on the booty was that bad, because she straight slapped somebody else on the booty the same way and didn't think twice about it until the video came out. And I messaged Joy on Twitter and she messaged me back. And I'm not sure if it was a generic message or was it a direct message where she actually messaged me back. But she said, "Hey, Brandon, you know, I love you. We're on the same team." Whoop. I don't know if there was a real authentic message, or there was something that her publicist sent to everybody that sent her messages when they get around to it. I don't know. But I'm going to ask her if she want to come on the show or do a Skype interview or something to clarify some of the things that we've been talking about. And I'm not, and I said this from the beginning, I'm not in the business of dogging out people unless I know them, or unless I have enough information I can say this XYZ is true about this person and that it's accurate. You know, I try not to speak on people unless I know, not from what I read, but for what I know. Now, there are people that show their hand to the public, and anybody can tell that they're like Omarosa's thing. You could tell, you can see that coming from a mile away. You know, Stevie Wonder could see that coming, and so can I. So, all right, another thing I want to talk about. I know we beat that dead horse, and I'm trying to figure out if you guys are having the same confusing things going on in your mind that I am as it relates to Trump hiring these people that just don't work out for whatever reason. Don't work out criminally, don't work out the administration, with the campaign. I don't know. It's very disappointing. So I wish I had the scoop on what was going on with that. But so I saw a video earlier, very, very disturbing video of a deputy. He was the oldest deputy in history at his department. I think it was in San Bernardino, California. Somehow he's off duty. He's driving down the roadway. He tries to avoid some dogs that are in the middle of the road, according to what statement that they gave. Don't know if it's true or not, but he was trying to avoid some animals, swerved, hit another man in the car, hit another man's vehicle, caused a traffic accident. On the video that's chopped up, you don't see the whole thing. You can see him pull over. You see the other man pull over. Looks like a young guy, and he's obviously 70 years old. Look like they get into some kind of verbal confrontation. It doesn't look violent verbally. It doesn't, like, I don't see hands moving and people yelling at each other. It looked like they got into some type of verbal altercation, and the younger fella punched him in the head, knocked him out, killed him. He died. And I had to watch the funeral procession, and it was just, it was heartbreaking. And I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he got at the car and called a guy N-word. I don't know. It ended up being a young black gentleman versus him. He was a white man. And I don't know if there was some racial undertones in there or not, but I just don't understand what people are thinking these days. You know, I understand people get all crazy with you. Like I said, I was driving the other day, the girl going 45 miles per hour on the freeway in the fast lane, and I almost ran into a motorcyclist trying to go around her. It was all my fault. But at the same time, you know, the motorcyclist passed me and gave me the finger, and I'm like, you know, dude, I said I was sorry. It's an accident, man. I didn't hit you. I just pulled out in front of you. You had to slow down because you was probably going too fast. Man, I didn't attack the girl. I just went around her. Maybe I glanced over to see if she was texting and driving or something, but I wasn't committing a road rage with this person. I don't know why people can't be normal. If a person hits your car, you got insurance. If they bumping off at the mouth, then just walk away. If they put their hands on you, that's different. But in this case, you have a 70-year-old man who is probably a great-grandfather, who has been a deputy forever, beloved by probably a lot of people, and now he's dead. And now the person who punched him to death is now probably going to do life in prison. And it is a sad situation, and it's such a waste of life, because that 70-year-old man probably would have been, if he was still a deputy at 70, either they have him working the desk or that man still got the mojo. But anyway, there's no business for him dying that day over a traffic accident when you paying out the you know what for insurance that's going to inevitably fix the problem. And there's no reason to go to prison for the rest of your life over something stupid, because it was clear as the noonday sun that the guy unprovoked punched him in the face, knocked him unconscious. He's a 70-year-old man. He probably wasn't going to do a lot of fighting back. And now you got a young person. What, he may have kids. I don't know. I definitely got a mama and a daddy, unless they both dead. He got somebody that's relying on him and care about him. Now he's going to prison for the rest of his life because of the front end on his vehicle. Something that probably cost like $200 to fix. Something that the other man's insurance would have fixed. But now you're in prison for the rest of your life. I've had nightmares of going to prison. And this is honest to God truth. I have had nightmares. I can't imagine what it's like to have to go to prison for the rest of your life. Like, there is no do-overs. Like, I don't even like sitting in my room too long. I can't imagine sitting in a cell for years. We're not talking about days. We're not talking about hours. We're not talking about months. We're not talking about holiday. Years. I have family members in prison for been in there for 15, 20 years. One, he'd been in there for 20 years. I was a kid when he went in there. He got 25 to life. Now, he may be up to get out soon. He didn't kill anybody. Thank God he didn't kill anybody. But he got 25 to life. He been in there since I was a kid. I mean, that man ain't got he get out. He ain't gonna know where to go. We got back when he went to prison, there was no cell phones. There was no computers. Now, they may have some of that stuff in prison right now. They may incorporate some of that stuff, and he may be aware that it exists. But you're talking about internet, cell phone, Facebook, YouTube. You're talking about a whole generation of inventions over the last 20 years that he don't even know what to do with. You know, when he went to jail, gas was like $1. Probably less than that. Right around $1. Now gas like $3 something. No, it ain't. It's $2 something, $2.70. If you get premium, it's $2.70, $3. But gas is $1 something higher than what it was when he went in there. He not gonna know what to do. But saying that to say, chill out on the road rage, because this is what I think about when I ride around. Because I always carry my gun wherever I go, because I never know when somebody want to trip out on me or if I had to save somebody else's life. But people don't know that I have a gun. And I've had people get all crazy with me on the road. And it's like, man, like, little do you know that I have a firearm. And if you start threatening my life, I'm going to use it against you. You're not going to just walk up to me and threaten me and intimidate me and think you're going to just get away with it. Especially if I feel like my life is in danger. You're going to be dead. For what? So if you don't get too amped up over road rage, man. It's not worth your life, because all it takes for you to punch a 70-year-old man, he dies, you go to prison for life. At least second degree. They're gonna at least get him for second-degree murder. They're gonna probably push for second-degree murder, because he hit that man as hard as he could in the jaw, knowing that the man is 70 years old, and it doesn't appear that he rendered aid to the man at all. He just left him there to die. Now, I don't know. They may have cut the film. It looked like he left him there to die, and that ain't cool. There's no remorse in that. So I think I've talked about that enough. And going back to the Steve Bannon thing, not even about Steve Bannon, but I'm still troubled, just like we all are, is at the media. I made it a point to look at Fox and look at everybody else. I looked at maybe 2 other stations, but I just, why can't people just tell the facts? Why can't people just deliver news to us? There's certain facts. Steve Bannon wrote the book. There's certain things in the book that Steve Bannon said about President Trump, said about the administration, said about Don Jr. There's certain things that are factual. How in the world can you look at one news station? I end up looking at 4. How can you look at one news station and you totally get a whole different perspective about what happened from one channel to the next? I don't understand how that's possible. How can we not hold news agencies accountable? We afford them constitutional rights, and then they have to be held responsible to be at least reasonably impartial. I went on CNN, and they didn't even say nothing about the contradiction that Steve Bannon made in the book versus when he said in national TV that, you know, the Russian collusion was BS. They didn't even bring it up. It didn't even happen. It don't exist. Donald Trump is just going downhill. And Steve Bannon is a hero to them. When they just talked bad about Steve Bannon not too long ago. Now, I just honestly, and I'm not trying to pick a side, but I feel like Fox News, they have biases, but I feel like Fox News, for the most part, presents facts. I can't even listen to CNN. They just completely lie. At least Fox News brought up what Steve Bannon said, brought up the criticism. They played, Sanders at the press conference and where her rebuttal was. They gave statements on all points. And you got CNN that just completely leave out. They don't even talk about the press conference. They don't even talk about Steve Bannon's contradiction on their show. It may have been on the show. I gotta verify that. But he was on national TV, and I don't think he was on Fox. Why? Why do we let them get away with this? What can we do to hold media accountable. Because at some point, they're colluding. You know, they're colluding with whatever candidate, whatever big company that's investing in them. They're colluding with them to brainwash you, to make you hate somebody when you shouldn't, to give you half of the facts when they know they have it all. They have these people on TV that's getting paid to be journalists, and they are literally omitting things. They are literally, the video guy is sitting in there cutting out video so that you can't see the full truth, so they can paint the picture of the president of the United States to be bad. That's just as hurtful, harmful to this country as this Russian collusion is supposed to be. We're colluding in our own country to destroy certain people. They don't mind putting people on blast on TV if it's going to benefit a particular agenda. They don't mind cussing on TV when they normally don't. I seen Don Lemon say all kind of stuff on TV, and I'm just like, what? Are you serious? Bro, your professionalism go out the window. Nobody cares. ESPN. They want so much political power that they're willing to get on there and have people call the president a racist and call everybody who supported the president a racist. How do you get on TV and be so blatantly ridiculous with no consequences? And let one of us on our news station say something, they be trying to shut us down. Facebook be throttling us and everybody else. But the mainstream media can play with your mind. We got to really open our minds up to, and obviously the people watching me right now are watching alternative media. This is where you get facts. This is where you get real stuff. I'm not reading no script, somebody writing something for me to read over there. You're getting the real deal. You're getting facts. You're getting an impartial perspective. You're getting truth. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. Unfortunately, the mainstream media can't even be honest about when they mess up. You know, and we're not going to even talk about the White House press conference or whatever you call it. I forget what it's called, the actual name of it. When all of these people from the press come in and ask, you know, about different topics that are going on, and then the White House gives a response. Like, these people, I mean, they can't even ask a question without leading it. There's a such thing called leading questions. Like, for instance, if they have a question about something President Trump does, then they should say, so what does President Trump think about, I don't know, taxes? They won't say that. They'll say, well, President Trump has told multiple stories and been deceiving the public about taxes. What do you think? Like, I don't understand how these people are so, their integrity is just, I don't know if once you get so far that your integrity is gone because people above you own you and they make your integrity what they want it to be. I don't know what point that people get at where their integrity is gone. I couldn't work for a news organization that's trying to tell me to lie on somebody. That's trying to tell me to be fake. I don't understand. Now, I know people need to feed their family and whatever. But at some point, just like people trying to come out the closet and talking about people touching them inappropriately, like we had the U of A football coach get fired because some girl is disclosing that there was a inappropriate work environment to where she suffers now from headaches or something as a result of it, and she want to sue him for like $7 million. She don't want to pursue anything criminal. She want to sue him for $7 million. And the athletic director, they sent me an email because I'm a alumni letterman. So they want to send me we just want you to know, don't send me that BS. I know y'all full of crap. That what that girl said about the coach has nothing to do with why y'all really fired that man. This was a 10-month investigation. If y'all really thought his character was that bad, you should have fired him a long time ago when the investigation started, or halfway through the investigation. You should have made the determination that you want to fire the man. But instead, you wait till he lose the bowl game. I'll give you one more reason that you don't want him to come back next year. So you make yourself look good by saying, oh, this man's character is really bad. Oh, y'all didn't know he was doing that? Oh, nobody knew about this, huh? Nobody knew what was going on, right? Yeah, no, yes, you did. You knew what was going on. But if he was winning, you don't care. Just like at Penn State. Dude been there 100 years. People knew what was going on over there. They knew what was going on, but he bringing in money, he's winning. So they overlook it. They shush everybody. They didn't even pay people to shush. Then they wait till he about to die to throw it out there. Oh, we're going to tell the truth on him now. He died shortly after that. You know, and the same thing with Rich Rod at the University of Arizona is that the man wasn't winning. For whatever reason, he couldn't recruit linemen bigger than me. Now, I'm exaggerating. Linebackers bigger than me. I'm almost 230 pounds. We couldn't get a linebacker 230 pounds that can move and is athletic. So in reality, he wasn't getting that part done. So they wanted to get rid of his butt. And then they used this other thing. I don't understand, man. I don't understand why people got to be so fake. If I had an employee and somebody accused my employee of sexual misconduct or whatever the case may be, whatever it may be, and if I'm not going to pander and say, oh, I'm just going to let it be. She accused him. No, if I think and I have information to believe this person is lying, I'm going to blast her or him. Or I'm not going to say nothing at all. I'm not going to even talk if I'm not going to keep it real. I'm not going to get out and pander because the public want me to believe the woman, believe the victim, or whatever. I don't play by those rules. When I come out and make a statement, I'll make a statement about everything, and I'll make a statement and say, well, I don't know why she don't want to cooperate with the police department. She wants us to do an investigation, but then she don't want to send us the text messages that prove her side of the story. I think that's BS. You wasting everybody's time trying to do a criminal investigation. You don't want to participate in it. You should be ashamed of yourself. I would say that. And I'll tell the coach, you should be ashamed of yourself. You up in the newspaper admitting that you had an affair on your wife. How? I don't feel bad for you now. You probably did mess with that woman. Or you probably was creating an environment. How you gonna get on TV and say that? And think we gonna feel sorry for you, man? I mean, that ain't right. That ain't right. You don't have to do the lady like that. You know, that's probably why you can't recruit good. Because your head in the wrong place. You chasing tail when you should be trying to recruit. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but I was very displeased at the talent level that we got at the University of Arizona, and I thought we needed a new start. I'm not saying the guy's a bad guy, but he wasn't doing nothing. He won his biggest games off Coach Stoops' recruits, whom was another coach that can recruit well but couldn't coach. Didn't know how to get people together, wasn't a people person. So they fired his butt, but he could recruit. He recruited me. He had all kind of talent. Didn't know how to use it, so they fired him. Then this person probably had the charisma, but don't know how to recruit. Fired him. And now who they gonna put in there now? Nobody want to come here, man. Nobody want to come to U of A. Well, you come down here, man, you can't win nothing out here. Maybe it's the coaches or maybe it's the climate. I don't know. All right, so I want to open it up for questioning for questions. I guess you could consider it questioning me. Yeah, right. But I want to open it up for questions because I know a lot of you guys have probably some things to say about what I just said.
Just something quick, real quick on YouTube. Thank you to Lucian in Fresno for your donation. We appreciate that. He said my weekly donation to y'all. He has given a few times already. #TellTheTruth. So thank you, Lucian.
Appreciate it, man. We really appreciate the donation. It always helps. Really thank you for watching. Thank you for being active on the show. Somebody said, Kurt Hudson said that if we were in top 10, Coach Rich Rod would still had his job. I will bet my paycheck that that's true. Yeah. That man would still have his job if he was top 10. That girl they beat and paid her already. I'm gonna give y'all a secret. Some booster alumni who have millions and millions of dollars would have been like, come over to my house for dinner. So how much you want? $7 million? Okay, you know we trying to win the national championship, right? Okay, come over here, let me pay you. Just keep it on the hush between you and I. I guarantee you people been doing it all over the country. Why do you think these colleges and universities get in trouble? they don't just, like, for instance, Miami got in trouble because they had all this scam and stuff going on with all these players. USC got in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, everybody know what the deal is. They just have a hard time catching them. And they conveniently catch people at the right time. Nobody wanted to investigate that when USC was winning all them national championships and being top 10 every year, number 1 in the nation, going to the BCS Bowl. Nobody was talking about this stuff. When it was at the height of you, like, how do they get all these 5-star players? How they keep getting 5-star players? Why are you? And if you ever went to these universities, you'll see some of these high-profile players, which they get $1,000 scholarship every month, driving nice cars and got gold chains on them. Oh, the coach don't know what's going on. Yeah, right. The coach probably paying him. I'm just gonna keep it 100. When I was in college, there was a guy on our team, not gonna say his name. Somehow, he was the number 1 player in JUCO, and you probably can figure out who he is by that. He's number 1 player in JUCO. All of a sudden, he come to the thing. He driving nice cars, foreign cars. Like, I don't know what. Supposedly, he had somebody in his family that had a lot of money, but I don't believe it. Now, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I know what's going on. Everybody knew what's going on. How can a player skip practice and still start in the game? The only player on the team that can do that. Everybody on the team saw that he didn't come to practice one day and started in the next game. Everybody heard him talk crazy to the coaches when nobody could talk crazy to the coaches. They didn't put up with nobody. Oh, they put up with him because they know he had a secret. They know they probably was doing something shady with him. I don't know if they paid him money or they coerced somebody. They were doing something shady and it didn't work out for him. But to act like people don't know what's going on is just lying, man. They just lying, man. These universities with all these players, they be doing something. They're doing something. I can't say that for everybody. I don't know. Alabama don't seem like that they've gotten in trouble for anything, but my God, how is Alabama getting all these players? They got NFL-looking players every year. D-line bigger than NFL D-line. They got a D-lineman that's catching interceptions and touchdowns. He caught a touchdown. Like a 300-some-pound lineman catching touchdown passes. And I don't know what they feeding these kids at Alabama, man, but they got some talent. Anyway, I know that's off subject. Back to questions.
I got a question about Baltimore. And I pulled up an article on my screen here about Baltimore police issues because recently, have you heard about this? I don't know, like a couple weeks ago, there were cuts to police and fire, well, mostly police but also firemen, and it was kind of in response to like BLM protests, Black Lives Matter protests. But so there were some because of all this uprising. There's some.
Brittany wrote that.
Brittany did, yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
2017 homicide data. So this is a Baltimore Sun article. I'm gonna copy and paste it into both the chats after I'm done talking about it. Actually, I'll do it right now. But basically, there it is on Facebook and there it is on YouTube. Okay, and so basically they say, all right, out of the 2017 homicides in Baltimore, and this is just another, because people have been protesting recently in Baltimore. This is what happened. People were protesting recently about gun deaths. So then they're like, we need to get rid of guns, save Black lives, all this stuff. So the facts are, there were 343 people killed in Baltimore in 2017.
How many?
343.
So almost a person a day.
Mm-hmm. 88% were killed with firearms. So, 88% of that 343 were with firearms. 295 exactly were killed with handguns, and then 6 with shotguns or rifles. So that sounds, at first you might read that or hear that and think bad for guns because it's like, oh well, all these handguns are running around. Well, they don't have the percentage, but the majority, they don't have the percentage here that I see. I might have to look further in the article, but The majority are illegally possessed firearms. 86% of the victims and 85% of the suspects. Okay? So both. That's like 80-something% of both victims and suspects were had prior criminal records. So it's not criminals running around killing innocent people. It's people doing bad things, probably gang members, killing each other with guns.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
No, not surprising at all. Oh, wait, I think that was the joke. But still, like, come on. And about 46% of victims and 44% of suspects had previously been arrested for gun crimes. So almost half of them were not only previous
offenders,
but they were offenders in gun crimes.
Yeah.
So they had already committed a crime with a gun or illegally possessed one, so they were obviously illegally possessing one right now. So
I wish they had a statistic on the race of people who were murdered.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Baltimore. This is not Chicago. This is a whole nother city.
Yeah.
And Chicago is over 2 people a day. Baltimore is about a murder a day. And I guarantee you majority of those people happen to be African-American people that are killed in Baltimore. Now, you talk about gun laws. This is exactly why most of us understand that gun laws is BS. Because everything that these people are doing are illegal.
Yeah.
Killing people is illegal.
Yeah,
when
so
you
just
get
make more things illegal.
When you get in trouble for a gun violation, that's normally felony related stuff. It's normally felony related. I can't think of gun charges that aren't felony. I mean, there's probably a few. Maybe discharging a firearm, stealing, maybe.
I read it. Listen to this. The average homicide victim in Baltimore last year. So on average, so this means if you take them all, some of them had more, some of them had less. Okay. The average homicide victim in Baltimore in 2017 had 11 previous arrests on record. 11. You've been to prison 11 times.
Well, now they probably ain't been to prison. That's why they out killing people.
Yeah, I didn't mean that.
They've been arrested.
They were arrested 11 times.
Let me tell you something. I done a lot of crazy stuff in my life when I was young or whatever. I can't imagine getting arrested 11 times. After 5, you got to realize, man, I'm doing the wrong thing. I've only been arrested twice.
That's victim. I just read that was a victim.
Right.
The suspects only had 9.
Well, let me say this.
So the victims were more likely to have been arrested more.
Let me say this.
That's crazy.
Let me say this. And get mad if you want to. As a police officer, former police officer, a lot of what we do is what we call victimless crimes. Just take it at face value what I'm saying. A lot of people that we deal with that end up getting shot aren't like completely innocent. That's what I mean by victimless crimes. They aren't completely innocent. It's somebody trying to shoot another person that just got shot first. Somebody couldn't pull the trigger fast enough. Or somebody doing gang activity, selling dope, and they get caught up in the middle of this stuff. Most of the murders are involved in things like this. There's only a few people that are literally. I remember a guy getting stabbed in the stomach. We go to his house. He bleeding out his stomach. Help me. He tried to rape his stepdaughter, and she jugged him. That's his fault. That man wasn't even a victim. The last shooting I went to right before I left the job, a kid gets shot up in the street. We go and patch him up in the middle of the street, and in the back of a grocery store, in the back, no lights, dark, place closed. What you doing back there with somebody? You know you back there doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. Now, of course, he ain't gonna tell us like, yeah, Mr. Tatum, I was selling dope and the dope deal went bad. He ain't gonna say that. He gonna say, I don't know what happened. I was just walking through the alley and a gunman comes and tries to sell and throws dope in the air and shoots me at the same time. No, it didn't happen like that. But he got his butt shot, which was bad. But it wasn't like a little kid walking down the street getting shot. No, let's talk about victimless crimes when police officers shoot people. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all an example of what somebody told me the other day. I had a conversation with somebody day before yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. So we were talking. He had asked me. He said, Brandon, this is a white gentleman. He said, Brandon, do you feel when you were growing up, when you were in your 20s, or when you were, like 18 to 25 is what he said. When you were pretty much in your early 20s, mid 20s, did you feel afraid of driving while black, being a black man driving and you getting pulled over by the police. And I told him, I said, I felt like that when I was 18. I mean, all the way up until I was probably 23, 22. I said, I felt like that, but it was completely false. When I became a cop, I realized that it was false, that I was just thinking that in my mind. And there's no way in the world cops even care about that. It's at least in the city that I live in. Not one time did cops care about what color skin you are. We only care about what color the test results come back on that dope test. Is it green? Is it brown? Because that tell you if it's heroin, if it tell you if it's meth, it tell you if it's pure or not. And then we can book somebody in jail over that. That's the only colors we care about. Now, with that being said, I told him, because an individual that he loved asked him about it. And he told the individual, I don't know. He said, I'm white. I got white skin. I don't know what you go through. And I told him to tell that young man, I said, just look at what would make you think that all of a sudden you would get targeted. Look at the people who have died at the hands of police officers. I can't name one of them that wasn't committing crimes. I can't name one of them that didn't have a rap sheet that was long. I don't care if you had tickets. Philando Castile had like, I don't know how many 100 tickets or something. And he was in violation of the CCW, even though people don't want to talk about it, but he was. You cannot be using illegal substances, illegal drugs while carrying concealed. He was in violation of that. You cannot have been using illegal drugs or be on the influence of illegal drugs when you sign up for the permit, which is what he did. If you look at the court case, they actually brought up witnesses, and they actually brought up people who were scientists, expert witnesses, to identify the fact that he was in violation of his CCW to start with. But anyway, these people aren't just, only person that probably didn't have a rap sheet was a young kid, Tamir Rice, who got shot for pulling out a gun, a replica gun on people, and then trying to pull a gun out on a police officer and got shot one time and died. That's probably it. Everybody else got a rap sheet long as a football field. Even the guy that got shot in the back and the officer got charged with second-degree murder. He had a rap sheet, and he freaking owed like $40,000 in child support. And he fought the cop and ran from him. If he didn't die, he was going to go to jail for felony resisting arrest, or say felony assault on a police officer. If he didn't die, he was going to go to jail anyway for a felony. Name one. Michael Brown just committed a felony and he was under the influence of marijuana. Committed a felony before he got killed. If he didn't get killed, he would have got charged with felony, aggravated assault on a police officer, and armed robbery. I mean, not armed robbery, but robbing a convenience store. Okay, who's the next one? Eric Garner, 40-some arrests. This was 43. Around 43. People aren't innocent, man. Chicago, all this. I only think that the reason why I'm concerned is because we're seeing young people losing their lives. We're seeing young people who ain't about that life end up getting involved in stuff and dying over it. I went to school with some of these people that live that thug life. I remember dudes they didn't really want that life, but they had to keep up with it, or you get snuffed out. You get called out. You get punked every day. You ain't really hood then, and you get jumped, beat up on, and criticized. And so people started really trying to live a life they didn't really want to live. They really want to be thugs, but they can't do that time. So they crying and snitching on people. And these young people don't really want this for their life, but they get caught up in it. When I was young, I wanted to be involved in it. Even in college, I wanted to live that thug life. I wasn't going to sell no dope, but I still had gold teeth in my mouth, sagging my pants when I was a freshman in college. I got picture evidence. If you don't believe me, all right, as soon as I get my camera working, I got all them old pictures on my camera. I might post a couple of them. People wouldn't even recognize me. Am I a bad guy? No, I didn't really want that. I just was influenced by the wrong culture of people. Messed me up. Somebody sent a message, said, what are your hopes for the midterm? I mean, I really hope that the Republicans can make some ground and that we just don't lose it all, because we're not, I don't know if we even putting out good candidates, man. I'm not sure. We got Joy that's supposed to be running in Florida, and there's a lot of question marks. Her and Corey Lewandowski probably don't like each other. We got people. It's terrible. Roy Moore, he couldn't pull it off. I'm hoping that we get some reasonable enough people to run. We get some leverage. We get people to come out and vote. I'm just hoping we still maintain some leverage, because I really do think that out of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, I think the Republican Party has the majority of the solutions. I'm not saying everything the Republican Party do is right. I'm not saying everything the Democratic Party pushes is wrong. What I'm saying is that the Republican Party will get this country where it needs to be. The Democratic Party will make us fall apart, period. I wish that we could have logical common sense and put out some people that are independent, that say, I'm going to take the best that they got from the right, the best that they can offer from the left, and I'm going to create something for the American people, and we're going to run with that. But instead, you got to go one side or the other. And if you feel like what they saying may be working a little bit, like, man, we need to use this, you can't do that because you got to run on the right or you got to run on the left. I'm really hoping that Trump changes the tide in that, and that we start getting more independent people. Give me your independent thought. I don't care what side you on, you blue or red. Give me a thought, man. What can we do to make this country better? If Democrats got a solution, then we may need to run with what the Democrats are saying. If Republicans got solutions, we need to run with what the Republicans are saying. I don't know at what point in this country we start picking party line over the people. Party line over the people. That just don't make no sense to me. That don't make sense to me. That's why it's hard for me to think about running, because obviously I probably would run Republican, but it may be, if there's things that I do not agree with Republicans, I'm going to disagree with them. I'm going to run on principle that I agree on, that I think is best for the country. I wouldn't sit there and pander, man. And I don't know if I could be successful if I do that. I mean, people have to really get out and vote. But I'm really hoping that we show out, I think another thing that is shocking to me is that I really want to see a balance of the African-American vote. I don't care if you want to say black, white, green, don't matter. No, African-Americans are voting Democrat at like 80%, 90% in some counties. And white people are voting at like 40-something%. It's almost 50. It's almost half. Why in the world is one race completely blinded by a party and the other race is balanced? Numbers don't matter when it comes to balance. You can have 50 people here, you can have 3 people here, the 4 people to make it fair. People can vote 50-50. They have a balance of perspective. If one party if one group of people vote 80%, it's something wrong. This year we need to make a change. This year, and it's, I'm putting the burden on myself as well, and some of us need to do. We need to start figuring out, what are these Democrats doing that's working, and we need to take some notes and apply it with our own knowledge. There's no more accepting the fact that a group of people don't even vote Republican at all. There's no more of that. This is how we lose. This is how we lose. This is how Roy Moore lose. Because all it takes is for a group of people that's going to be 100%, dang near 100% towards a certain candidate. It's easy for them. They just pander a little bit, and then they work with the base to get just a little bit more people over. We have to win a whole race of people to even have that leverage and competitiveness. Listen, it's clear that most of the country really wants there to be capitalism. I honestly believe that. If most people actually knew what capitalism was, most people would want to be a part of a country that emphasizes capitalism to the T. And we have a hard time presenting that, whether it's because we don't have diverse representation or I don't know what it is. But we need to figure it out, because if we do figure it out, there will never be a Democrat in office anywhere again. There will be independent and Republicans. There will be a Democrat will literally never be in the White House again. If we could actually get out reasonable knowledge and learn how to use some of these tactics that these Democrats are doing and using the tactics and employing them and developing a knowledge base from capitalism, from our standpoint, and being flexible a little bit. I honestly believe that I'm not for pushing stuff down people's throat. I'm a Christian. I think that Christianity's principles are the best moral principles of the country. But I think these things can be explained outside of Christianity. Like, should you be having abortions? No, religions are not. How about we find a better way to articulate why you shouldn't do that? And not always rely on, because the Bible said. Because people don't believe in the Bible, you lose that person. Find ways to explain how the Bible has principles that can be applicable to people even if they believe or not. We would love for everybody in the country to be Christians. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. So we better start figuring out how can we incorporate people who aren't Christians into the fold, policy wise. Now, I'm not saying compromise Christian principles. That's not what I'm saying. Abortion is abortion. You know what I mean? It's never going to be okay. I don't care who you are. You can be an alien. I'll tell an alien that come down here. It ain't right. You don't need a Bible. You probably can't read. It ain't right. Whatever your alien language is. Abortions ain't right. May not even apply to you, but you just know on our planet, abortions ain't right. So there's certain things that are in principle that are not right and they'll never be acceptable. I had a conversation with a man about the cake thing. And I'm just like, in this country, you should be free to create what you want to create. And this is where I flipped it at. I know I'm jumping subjects, but I had to talk about this. This is where it flips at. Everybody look at the fact that it was a gay cake or a wedding that promoted homosexuality, whichever way you want to describe it. And the people said, this is against our principle. We're not going to make this cake. You can go down the street to so-and-so and so-and-so, and they'll probably make you 45 cakes. We don't do that here. Everybody gets outraged. And they say, that's not right. You shouldn't be able to do that. Now flip the script. Say a person came in there and said, I want you to make this Ku Klux Klan cake. Make this cake that say, I hate black people. Make this cake that says, I want to burn America. Allah Akbar. Make that cake. And of course you'll be like, well, a person shouldn't have to make a cake that says KKK. You will be all for that. The principle of the matter, and I'm not comparing KKK to somebody being gay. What I'm comparing is the choice, the freedom of a private business owner to choose what cake they want to make. Because if you say that the person can make a gay cake or whatever against what they believe, then they have to make everybody's cake. A person can come in there and say, I worship Satan. I want you to say Satan is better than God on this cake. Force you to do that. America is going to hell. Make a cake. Man, if that's not your specialty, that's not your business. That's the freedom of the market. You can go to another place and get you a cake. Business owners should be able to do that. I honestly believe if you don't want to serve a certain person because of their race, do what you want to do and you'll be out of business. Do that if you want to. Nobody's going to shop at your place no more. See, the people have the power. Remember when Rosa Parks couldn't sit where she deserved to sit on a bus? Stop riding the bus. Oh, they start changing then. Oh, you can come in the front now because we're going to go out of business. The people have the power, not these individual businesses. Let them have the freedom to do whatever they want in the creative ways that they want. Let them do what they want to do. And if they start doing certain stuff, then the people can speak. I think America as a whole don't tolerate racism. It's not acceptable. It's not cool. It's ugly. It's dirty. It's nasty. It's un-American. Nobody accepts that. Somewhere in the cornfield somewhere, somebody may be like, oh, it's okay. And they may have a little shop out there. They only serve whites only. Well, you're going to make $35 a day doing that because nobody think that's okay. But why should you then tell a person, well, as the government, I'm going to tell you what you can and cannot sell. I'm going to tell you who you can accept in your place or who you cannot. It becomes a slippery slope because you say, well, you can't just deny service to people if you want to. Then why? What if somebody comes in a shirt without a shirt on? Comes in a store without a shirt on. What if somebody comes in the store being disruptive? Huh? You should be able to tell them, hey, man, you got to get out of here. This is my business. Not yours. It's my business. You making me lose money because you in there acting a fool. You making me lose money because you in here dressed inappropriately. I don't want to serve you. Go somewhere else. And if the person is, if it's a racial undertone to it, then hey, go somewhere else and tell everybody on your social media, hey, this place don't accept me, and then people won't shop there. We've seen places close down that have done bad practices. We've seen people get fired over bad practices. Why should the government have a hand in everything? I just don't understand. Get your hand out of our lives. We all right without you. You the one causing all these problems. You the one legalizing and making things illegal that's causing problems in this country. You the one don't know what you're doing about the gun laws. Let me keep my gun so when that fool crack up, I'm gonna be able to shoot him. Cause you ain't gonna get there fast enough because you don't want to fund the police department. We relying on you to fund the police department, y'all cutting funding. Just like Echo said about Baltimore. Do you know what? When they were down there protesting and acting a fool, black people got killed more. Why? Because cops were apprehensive to go in these communities. They don't want to get in trouble for shooting somebody justifiably. So they stop going in the communities. Black people get killed more. Now what you got to say? You can't even rely on the government to do common practices to protect the people.
I mean, it's like it got to the point where they were saying, hey, we need to get cops out of here. We have too many cops. They said, hey, we need to get cops out of Baltimore. They were literally calling for that on their protests. Breitbart's article about it, I found as well, says, in the end, murder rate has climbed during each of the last 3 years. And demonstrations by Black Lives Matter styled groups protesting the city's police have demanded that police be pulled back from the neighborhoods, and the city has obliged. Because like I said, they cut back spending. They have less police officers in there, and now their murder rates are higher.
Yeah, less police,
and it's like they're obeying the desires of residents, being those protesters. Now, African American activists are complaining that police have abandoned their duty.
So it's a lose-lose situation, but we can't even trust the government to make the right decision. See, what the government's supposed to do when you pay your taxes, they're supposed to say, F you, we're going to keep police officers in these communities. Good luck. We're the government, okay? But then what happens is our government fails us because they're cowards. So they take the police to oblige these people, to pander to these people, and then brothers are getting killed in the middle of the street. And then they come back to the same government and say, well, what are y'all doing? And then what do? They want to raise your taxes and have these bills passed and all this other stuff so you can pay more money to get more police officers now. They don't know what they're doing with your money. Let me keep my money. Let me protect my own house. Now, you can pay to protect the grocery store or whatever you want to do that belongs to the public, but let me protect my own stuff. I can do that better than any police officer. I can protect my own family. Somebody come and rob me, I ain't got to waste time calling you and hope you ain't eating donuts. Hope you ain't sick and you feeling bad today, or you having a bad day, or you caught up on a call. All I need you here is to identify this person and notify next of kin. That's all I need you for. At my house. My responsibility. My insurance. Somebody break my house, my insurance cover that. Y'all ain't gonna catch the person because they don't fund you enough. You can't even catch the people. We get lucky and catch people. I ain't say lucky, man. We have a whole bunch of stuff we do, but the dumb people, we catch them all the time. The smart people, it's hard to catch them. It's not enough resources. We can't follow up. That's your government for you. That's your government for you. They want you to pay just enough that they not provide enough. You pay just enough to not have enough. You pay just enough so the police will be spending all their time with the people who pay nothing. That's frustrating. I call the police and it take them, well, not where I lived at, because I lived in a nice neighborhood. You call the police, they there in 5 minutes. You in Tucson, you in one of these major cities, probably the same thing in Phoenix. You in the middle of the city, you call the police, they gonna take 30, 40 minutes to get to you. Why? Because they over here with this fool that's overdosing on heroin every 5 minutes, that don't have no job, that's living off the government. This is what they doing all day long. This fool shooting this fool when they should be working this stuff in the court system. Now you tell me, Echo, how in the world is the court system unjust? They got systematic racism. When you got somebody got 11 arrests and they out running around getting killed or killing people. How you get arrested 11 times and you ain't doing no time? Because the court system is broke. You know why? They pat you on the wrist. Oh, it's just dope. You just sold heroin for 16 months and you done killed like 15 families, but we just gonna slap you on the wrist. It's just heroin. What about the effects it have on other people? What about my stepdad that took that stuff and died? What about all the people that I've seen die? People that we giving Narcan to. One man selling all these people this dope and they dying and destroying families and you get a slap on the wrist. Oh, it's just drugs. He's just selling drugs. No, you're not. You're killing people. You're killing a culture of people. Oh, we supposed to be cool with that. Slap him on the wrist. Oh, you Meek Mills? You a celebrity? Oh, slap you on the wrist. You can be probation for 7 years and violate your probation 6 times. And you won't go to jail. Oh, and then you find it. We can't do nothing. You do all on TV violating your parole. You in the rap songs violating your probation. I listened to a rap song where he was in there talking about, oh, I can't do this. I'm on Molly. I'm on parole or probation, but I'm going to do it anyway. You in your rap song talking about you violating probation? Oh, slap him on the wrist. It's okay. It's okay. Recidivism. It's okay. Just going back out there. We'll give you probation. You'll do 6 months in jail and you're back out there because you have rehabilitated yourself. No, this is exactly what the problem is. You get arrested 11 times and you back out there thugging. You get arrested 9 times and you killing the man that's arrested 11 times. You know why? They don't care because it's just fools killing fools. But they don't realize these fools that's killing fools have offsprings that turn into fools. That then the next generation of fools. See, they don't care about these brothers out here killing each other. Black Lives Matter, dang sure don't care. They just want a little money and the fame. Killing each other. Their kids grew up killing each other. Then they grow up, don't know how to live this life. Growing up being dependent. Mama using your credit score. Mama using your social security number, putting light bills and stuff in your name. You grow up bad credit. It's a residual thing that's just killing the culture of people. And then we create this thing where poor get poor, richer get richer, and people get upset about it. It's like, we'll do something then. These people that's committing crime need to have harsher punishments. I believe that. Maybe people will slow down. And if they don't, put them in jail. And then some things that people go to jail for, they shouldn't even be in there for that. Let's fix this marijuana thing and stop putting people in jail for marijuana so we can have enough space to put these people in there for heroin. Marijuana ain't done nothing to nobody. A couple little young idiots probably smoking weed and being lazy. I'm talking about real issues. I'm talking about people passing out behind the wheel, people dying in the roadway, people killing each other to get heroin. I ain't never seen nobody kill nobody get no weed. People ain't scratching, I need weed. I need weed. Stealing out the stove, they need weed. They itching, they got sores all over them. They can't recognize them anymore. They skinny. I ain't never seen nobody smoke weed look like that. If anything, you start getting fat because you want to eat all the time. Then you probably broke. But I know people that smoke weed. Now, I don't agree with it, but at the same time, which one is more important? Somebody getting high laughing all the time or somebody that's literally destroying communities with heroin? It is a epidemic. Methamphetamines. We're talking about K2 spice. People are biting people's faces off using K2. We need room for them to be in jail, not the people selling weed. I don't understand. Like, we gotta do better. So it's about that time. I think I've said enough. My computer's about to die. So I thought I'd close it up. 5 minutes over. Appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate you guys watching. And I'll say this before I leave. I think that another thing we need to work on is our education system. Like, there's no way in the world that we are the most powerful country and we the dumbest country. We like the dumbest country. One of them. I don't even know where we ranked at, but we ranked in a bunch of countries I don't even know. I didn't even know there was many countries in this world. And I can't even name that many countries that's above us in education. How do we have so much money? How are we paying so many taxes? We got so many billionaires in this country, millionaires in this country, and we can't get the roads right and we can't get education right. There is no way in the world that a kid that live in the hood should not get to a public school. I'm not saying private school. I'm public school. There's no way in the world a kid in a impoverished community don't get the same books, same education as a doggone kid in an affluent community when the government is paying for it. There's no way. There's no way that our kids are that stupid that we're not competitive. Then we got foreign people coming over here developing everything. And then they the ones smart and we just dumb. Living in the slums, just dumb. No education, no nothing. People go to school to 12th grade and still don't know nothing. Teacher ain't teaching them nothing. Teacher's sorry. She don't want to be there. He don't want to be there. Letting the kids play. I was in school. I remember them teachers letting us cheat on tests and everything. Didn't even care. Oh, Brandon, I see you. Like, whatever. You ain't going to do nothing about it. Oh, yeah, Mr. Innocent Me. I remember them teachers. I remember in Spanish, I got a D in Spanish when I was in high school. And then I went to the easy teacher. I got a B. She couldn't even speak Spanish. Como esta? Like, you ain't even got no accent. B. That's what the education system they're getting in public schools. You can get the hard teachers, you can get the easy ones. Just pass you. Oh, you play football? Oh, you pass. Pass this class, just do a little something here and there, you pass. Sad. It's sad. It's sad. It makes me mad. We can spend money on all this other stuff and we stupid. We spend all our time talking about these people making false sexual accusations against people and we stupid because our schools don't work well. We can talk about everything. We can talk about Donald Trump golfing on the golf course, but we're not talking about education system in America. Our teachers getting paid dirt money. Oh, we can bring it all up. I bet I can tell you how much ice cream Donald Trump eating. They giving these people airtime on TV to lie on other people. Give somebody airtime on TV to talk about how they're gonna pay these teachers more money. That's even worse than police officers. They pay these teachers no money and expect them to raise your kids for you. Then your kid grow up dumb. Don't know nothing about life. Don't know nothing about money. Don't know nothing about communicating. Don't know nothing about life. Get out in the real world and suck. Then these people don't know how to hire you because you too dumb to do anything on your job. Then you ain't got no work ethic. You got 30 minutes where you working too hard. You want to quit the job. Creating a culture of idiots. Soft. Somebody say something about your hair and you crying and want a safe space. I tell you where a safe space is. Go get your butt a job. Go. That's a safe space in there where you can get your butt to work. We raising a culture of people that are so doggone soft that it's making my blood boil. When are we gonna get our stuff together in this country? We got a lot of good stuff, but we can't even get the fundamental things right. And I think I know why. It's because I think people in power want us to be stupid. They can't afford for you to know stuff because you find out you don't need them. Then you will actually go vote. But if you stupid and they brainwash you with transgender stuff and all this other distractions they can put in your face, then you don't know nothing. You ain't been paying attention. You haven't been paying attention to the elected officials that just got elected. You haven't been paying attention to the bill that just got passed because you on Kardashians or somebody. You on TV talking about Roy Moore. These girls accusing Roy Moore. You don't even know what his policies are. You don't know what his policies aren't. But you know what the scandals are. That's what they do. They keep you stupid. And then you don't vote. Then you don't do nothing. Then you paying out the buku in taxes. Then they jipping you in the medical department. Charge you $400 for to see your kid for 30 minutes. Like, it ain't right. But you too blind. You distracted by all this other stuff. You don't even know where to go with it. I'm done with that dead horse. We about to get out of here. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for coming on. I had to rant just a little bit because America be making me mad. I wish that Donald Trump would start hiring better quality people. I mean, I ain't say quality people. People that just ain't going to turn on him at the last minute. That's all I'm saying. If you don't like the man, say you don't like him right now. Don't wait till 2018 midterm election for you to say you don't like the man and come out with a book. All right. We're going to say a quick prayer. We're going to get out of here. If you're prepared, join me in prayer. Keep your eyes open if you're driving. Lord, we want to say thank you for waking us up this morning, for blessing us. giving us a brand new day, a new opportunity to serve you and to do the right thing. God, we pray for those who are unbelievers at this point, God, that you would bless them and you will help them have a vision or see the truth and be able to apply your principles to their life. We thank you for the show. We pray that the show will grow and that people will continue to watch and share. We thank God for all the people who've donated, who bought apparel. We thank you. We thank those people. And Jesus, I just want to say that we do really appreciate you. I know we talk about, we ask all these things, but we appreciate you dying on the cross. We really do. I mean, without that, what would we be? What the sacrifice that you gave, getting beat, ridiculed, spit on, whipped, humiliated for us. And I really do pray that God will open up our eyes to that and help us to try to live a better life, knowing that we won't be perfect. But God, I pray that you help us live a better life. Help us to forgive other people as we forgive ourselves. Help the leadership in this country, God, that you will bless them to be authentic, to be wise in the decision making. You help people to stop being phony and to actually work for the American people and try to do the right thing. I pray, God, that the people in leadership would come together and start agreeing on things that we can move forward in this country instead of all the hatred and division. I really do pray for all of our enemies, because I know people that hate us. I really pray for them, God, that you'll open their understanding to be more generous, to be accepting, and to be understanding. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. I'm out of here. I appreciate y'all watching. Catch us tomorrow, same time with the same rhyme. Hold the phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.